Hello everybody, it's Aaran back from Screenstars, and I'm here once again to do another review for Geek Legion of Doom, and today I'm here to review the 2018 science fiction comedy Alien Addiction. This film is written and directed by Shea Sterling, and it stars Jimi Jackson and Thomas Sainsbury, and it focuses on a small town in New Zealand and a group of lads just doing what lads do in a small community, you know, being lads, smoking drugs, having a laugh. And one of them in particular, Jimi Jackson, Riko, has an encounter with two aliens that have come to visit their small town. And these two aliens, it's their first visit to Earth, and they have this device that analyses things, and one of the first things they get the opportunity to analyse when they get to Earth is some human feces, as some lady has a bowel movement in the woods, and when they dissolve anything they want to analyse, they dissolve it, and then they basically smoke it to see what value it is to them. And they discover after smoking this feces is that it is an absolutely brilliant drug that they enjoy getting high off. So the rest of the film is them, along with Jimi Jackson, who they befriend, looking for new and creative ways to get a hold of different varieties of human feces for them to smoke and get high off. There is a side story of like this alien blogger guy who discovers them too, who's also trying to track them down, that runs parallel along to this story. Right, so what are my thoughts on Alien Addiction? Well, I'll be honest, this film is completely and utterly stupid, but I'm not gonna lie, I laughed like a teenager at the juvenile humour on display in this film. I did find it very, very funny at times, this film. There's some great gags in it, there is some funny humour in it. I would imagine if I like Jackass and things like that, and while there's no stunts like that in this film, the humour is like on par with stuff, that kind of mentality, Jackass humour. It's crude, it's juvenile, but I'm sorry, but it was funny. I literally was laughing out loud many times watching this film, and the premise of these aliens getting addicted to poo was just inspired. I thought it was hilarious, and these aliens looked really funny, and the way they walked, you just chuckled every time you saw them. The whole thing was structured around this ridiculous humour and this ridiculous concept, and that part of it I thought worked really, really well. I thought the humour, the gags were funny. Not all of them. It was one of these films that kind of throws a lot of gags at the screen, and not all of them hit, but a lot of them did, certainly for me. And you know, a comedy is always difficult because it's subjective. You might watch this and think it's absolutely terrible, and you might not like the humour at all, but it just kind of spoke to my sense of humour, this film, for the most part, and it was very, very funny at times. However, about 40 minutes in, the joke starts to become a little bit stale, if you pardon the pun, and then it starts becoming more about creative ways to get poo, and it kind of keeps going over the same gag over and over and over again, and it starts losing its luster each time, if you like. And the side story, they've got like this blogger who's a bit of a fraud, really. I guess he also discovers this site where these aliens have crash landed, and that whole side story with him, you know, tracking them down and all this kind of stuff, I personally felt as though it kind of derailed the film, because he wasn't funny. I didn't find him funny, at all. And I guess that they wanted to put a little bit of threat in this film. You know, the typical threat that you would put in an alien film. It's like the anti-ET film, you know what I mean? These aliens befriend Riko, Jimi Jackson's character, and they have a whale of a time. They become great buddies, and then someone has to kind of spoil the fun. But it's almost like the anti-ET version. But I didn't like that storyline. But I understand, if it wasn't for that, the film would have been finished after about 45-50 minutes. They needed something to stretch the film out. I get that, but I didn't think that side of the film worked, and that side wasn't funny either. So what we get here is a little bit of a mixed bag of a film. I think it's, if you like that kind of juvenile crude humour, there's going to be a film here that you're going to have a bit of fun with. If that's not your style of humour, I don't imagine there's much here that you're going to take to and enjoy. I personally appreciated that style of humour, and I appreciated the way they presented that humour, and I did find it particularly funny. But there are problems with the film in regards to, like, there's some of the storylines running alongside it, and some of the gags do start getting a little bit stale. But I must admit I had a bit of fun with this film, so I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because of it. Juvenile fun, but fun nonetheless. That's my take on Alien Addiction. So if you get the opportunity to check it out, I would suggest doing so. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned at Geek Legion of Doom for more reviews very, very soon.